the Record. I'm Jason Salas alongside with Jonah and Charfers, and everybody. We have gathered here today in a semicircle to let you know what we have worked on, what we have planned to work on, and we're doing this in a very intimate setting with food.
Yeah.
And we really like food here. So Nick, Vic, Kobe, Joan, Jace, Suki, Darby, Nevea, Des, the gang is all here. The relaunch of the KUAM Podcast Network. We basically hit Control-Alt-Delete on the KUAM Podcast Network. After a while, we're trying this again. And we're going to bring you really cool stuff, and we hope you do enjoy it. So guys, there's food here. Joan, what a year this was.
It was definitely a year. A lot of challenges, a lot of big events that happened. I know that all of us have experienced or kind of focused on like a story that we've done where it's kind of touched us either emotionally or mentally. I know for me, like, and you know, you've been doing this for so many years.
Thanks for saying that, by the way.
For so many years, and you know, you kind of get immune to some of the stories, but for some reason this year seems very emotional for me. Like,
do you think that it's because it's the year after the storm, like we just went through a year of recovery and now we're trying to get our footing?
I think so. You know, that, and I think you know, personal challenges, and then also too, one of the stories that really stuck out for me, and I know we'll be covering you know, some of the stories that kind of stuck out for everyone, was the story with little TJ Cruz. It was the first, and I've written many stories, but that was the one that broke me. Like, I had to close my office door and I had to, you know, have a good cry, especially when they sent the photo to me, and it was this, you know, beaming, bright little 3-year-old, you know, and had so much. And I think, like, from that point, like any other story where it was, it touched me in, like, in my heart, like either breaking my heart or like, you know, filling my heart. It, like I did a lot of crying this year. I can say that. But I mean, for you guys, what was like some of the stories too that kind of challenged
Crying is
you?
good, by the way. It's helpful.
Yeah.
Let it out.
Yeah.
It shows that you care, definitely. Ooh. I mean, I do just want to like touch on that, and we talked about this when Joni was covering that story. Suki and I actually went to Joan in your office, and I think it's really healthy for us to talk about how it impacts us, because first and foremost, we know that we need to remove our personal feelings when we're covering the story. But at the end of the day, we are human, and it does impact us mentally, emotionally, and to be able to come to work and know that we don't have to carry that weight on our own, and know that it's a safe space. Joni, you've done a great job. Nick, you've done a great job at telling us, like, if we need to cry, cry. If you need to, like, take a moment to think about what it is that you just digested and what you're covering, then take a moment. And that's the thing that I'm grateful for. I know we're supposed to be talking about what stuck out, but I'm truly grateful that we cover heavy things when we come to work. And the fact that we can lean on each other is what I'm most grateful for. Yeah.
And you got married this year.
Yeah. I did get
Congratulations.
married this year. I'm very grateful for that. And I also turned 27.
Hey.
But
It's my
I
favorite
think
year, by
that,
the way.
sorry, I'm sidetracking, but I think my Saturn is returning this year, if you guys ever heard of that. But I feel like now I'm just really coming to terms with the fact that I'm an emotional person, and I'm fine with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. And I'm happy that we work somewhere that we can embrace that vulnerability.
Can we see the ring one more time? Because that is awesome. Yee.
If you guys know Nene from Real Housewives.
Can I just add something to that? So,
Yeah,
you know, coming from the digital team, me, Kobe, Vic, like, we are so surrounded by everything that's happening, breaking news. If there's something happening, we're always there. You guys are always there. And I just want to give you guys so much props, because it takes a lot to be a reporter. Like, you don't get to mental prep, or you still have to face the camera with a straight face, reporting what's there, even though it's affecting you guys so much. And I think that's a lot of strength and resilience coming from all of you guys, because you don't have the option to, you kind of just have to turn off your feelings all the time and like do your job and then feelings later. And the fact that you guys can put that aside to bring the news to our island and being there and showing up for whatever it is that's happening, like with TJ, or if there's a car accident, or I would say most especially like Mauer. I know that was last year, but it's you guys that came to those houses that cover. Even this year, I believe we covered a lot of houses that were burnt down, or it was fire, or like people that got broken into, or even families of people that were hurt, and you guys are the ones talking to them and reassuring them and covering and making sure their story is told. So I have you guys so much props for that. No?
Right back at you guys, though. You guys do just as much, you know, if not more. You guys are also on the front lines working with us to bring that news to people. So yeah, if you guys don't get your props enough, like we couldn't do it without you guys. Like we truly are a team. Like everybody is essential. Everybody in this room, even the people behind the cameras, like everybody works so hard.
And sorry, real quick, Darby, you've had at least 2 very, very major events happen to you this year, in addition to doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Master!
Graduated.
Oh, yes.
So please tell us. Now that we had to remind you, please tell us.
Wait, no, I got engaged last year.
Congratulations.
Time flies.
Yeah, so we did. It's so funny that we're recording this. I did graduate yesterday.
She's a master.
But on top of that, that's also just like circling back to what I just said with you guys. Like I wouldn't have done it. Like every single one of you guys has really helped me. I know there are some times where I would have to choose because I can't split my body in half, but I'm glad that I have a team that's always there to like, you know, we got you. Like there's nothing that like won't be able to work just for you to not. You guys gave me a chance to not miss out on anything in both work and school and anything in personal lives, because you guys always had my back, and I really appreciate that. So that degree is also you guys' own. So
We're all masters.
Sure degree, we're all masters. Nevaeh, I know. How long has it been since you started?
I think this would be my 4th week.
4th week. So
All right.
almost a month. Like, how has it been being around us? It's a lot of personalities.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I think like it's a really fun place to work, and there's always something new happening. It's not always the happiest thing, as you guys are saying, with what we have to cover with the news, but it's always changing, and I'm learning a lot from every single person here in front of the camera, behind the camera, and I'm just really grateful to be a part of the team now.
Yay, we're happy to
And
have
I just
you.
want to mention, Nevaeh is so strong. I mean,
Yeah.
like literally your first day of work, she was covering a autoped crash. And I just remember you were telling me like when you came back from your shoot, you literally saw like blood was still on the road. And I was like, I'm so sorry that you had to experience that on your first day. But then I still remember you were like, oh, it's okay. I know I'm going to have to get used to these type of things in this field. And I just want to give props to you for that.
Thank you.
Let's give her a round of applause.
And you also graduated this year.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yes.
Wait, can we all do the
Yeah.
Can you do your dubstep remix?
It's an inside joke.
Donkey.
The love's all on this side of the room. What do you guys got?
Bro, Vic.
Sorry, I
It
just
was an election year, guys.
Oh yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, that happened.
That was wild.
Kobe, this was
No
your
words.
first election.
No words.
This was my first
How
election.
was your first election?
I was actually, it was actually a lot of fun, and I wasn't actually expecting to be on the field this year, but
Oh,
it was
yeah.
actually really fun being out and like seeing, like how an election year is, because for the last 4 years I've been off island, so I've always missed.
Wow.
I think I missed the last 2, but it was a lot of fun, and it was a good experience being able to like work with like our photogs, and kind of just like working with myself too, because I was like, I remember being super nervous. I was like, oh, I have to do a look live. It's this, and this, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready to be on camera. I don't know how to talk to people, but we got through it, and it was a lot of fun.
You're such a natural.
For real.
Yeah.
It was the fresh haircut.
It was, I just got a fresh
The
haircut
fresh
before.
cut the day before.
I think also I want to add that this year, this election, I think we've done a lot of elections together at KUAM, but I think this one was where I saw that we can really do anything, where we just moved the whole team all the way to EOG, set up a whole whole storage room, just go set up and just shoot from there. And I think I've seen over the years, I've seen KUAM doing different things at different time whenever it's called for, like mall, or we set up in a whole conference room. And this one was just like, just pick up from the studio and let's go to the EOG and let's set up right there. Hey, there's the show. So props to you guys, and like Nick, Joan, Betty Ann in the back, with all the logistics and everything that comes to bringing a show together. So props to you guys, man, and I love this team.
Thank you, Betty Ann.
Thank you.
I won't forget to say that this
Snacks,
year.
set up this is very beautiful.
Can we dig into the snacks, by the way? Okay.
Yeah.
Who's first?
Ladies first.
I just feel like every election year, even though it's a different candidate or a different year, a different cycle, it's always so stressful and overwhelming. But for some reason, we do it. And I have done it for so many years alongside some of you here. And for the rest of you, it's been the first. Neve, you'll get to experience it in a couple years again. But I just try to find those times where I'm like, okay, I don't need to pick up bad habits again. I don't need to, I used to be a heavy smoker and I would always pick it up during an election cycle. That would be like my vice, right? Just to get me through. But really, it wasn't really getting me through. I was just impacting my health. And so I think I've found other ways just by really communicating with the people around me. And that's been you guys at all odd hours of the day and night and weekends. And so thank you for putting up with me.
Nick, I actually have a question. So, during election, you did you did all of them. You did all the interviews in your little studio, right? So, if in the event that you're speaking to someone and you're just on if you're even in the position that this happens, but if you run out of questions, what is your first thought? What is your first, what's your U-turn? What's your, what do I...
Fallback.
What's your fall? What's the number one subject that you fall into when you realize, okay, I need to change, I need to, turn this around, the interview?
So the number one rule I always tell everyone, whether you're a reporter or you're just having a conversation with a friend at a coffee shop, listen. It's the biggest lesson I was taught by my former news directors is just listen. If you listen, the conversation will come organically. And that's what happened that night. I was having intimate and important conversations with professors, with students, with people from different political parties. And it just all flowed without hesitation because I wasn't trying to force a question or I wasn't letting them talk and think of the next question. I was just present and that's something that's important when you're out there interviewing, getting the stories. Be present, be mindful of your surroundings, be demure if you can.
That's a good one. So it's listen to understand, not listen to reply.
Period. Now that's a word.
That's a mantra.
I guess you learned that this year.
Spoken like someone who just got her graduate degree.
That's a true master right
Why are
there.
you yelling over there?
Oh yeah, we got
He's
mics.
very excited.
No, can I just say too, it's so funny because every time someone says, yeah, we've spent so many years, they always point at Jason. We've gone through so many elections together.
The papa.
It's a knowledge.
When I come into work in 2025, first thing you guys better do, everybody amen, right? Everybody show respect to the old guy. Okay, there is something I want to say, because as the two most senior people, and Joan, we've been together for 16 years now? 14, oh yeah.
She knows.
I still find on this job, in this industry, with this group that we're working with and everything like that, I still find things that inspire me. And in the stories that I've been fortunate enough to do over the last years, I do primarily sports, which on Guam is a lot of, it may be your school, it may be your club, it may be the national team. So primarily it's a lot of youth. And I'm just able to have these wonderful conversations, and people share wisdom with me and stuff that just blows my mind, that people my age, 50 years old, can now discover. 11-year-olds are giving me amazing insight on how they can be the best version of themselves and, and really achieve and everything like that. So that's one of the things that really inspired me this year is just the fact that people are sharing just how much knowledge they have and passing that on to me. And, it doesn't matter that, I'm as old as I am and, they're, representing, Agatha Johnson Middle School. they've got so much amazing, just perspective on life, and to me, that's incredible.
Yeah, no, I agree, because like you said, it's all about the storytelling, and then connecting with these people that have stories, amazing stories, like incredible stories that you are fortunate to share, with the community, and like how you said, a lot of them have like really, they say some amazing, impactful stuff that resonates with a lot. So the other day, I did do an interview with Jay Tosh. He was a runner-up in a Netflix show, Flow. And I asked him, is there any, we have a growing music industry on island. So I asked him, is there any, advice you would give them? And he's like, coming from a small island, make that, so-called disadvantage your advantage. Because don't tell the story of, Los Angeles. Don't tell the story of, Long Beach. Tell the story of Guam, because that's the story that needs to get out. That's the story that people need to hear. And he's going to be coming to Guam next year, and he doesn't want to come empty-handed. He's trying to find out the needs of the island so he can help, whether it be fundraising, bringing like certain supplies or anything. So, I mean, the fact that our stories also connect with locals abroad too, and they're wanting to do good and bring back here. It's like a great thing. Great to go.
Yes, and that's what I was gonna say. I love how you always find so many Guamanians or people who once called Guam home that live abroad, whether in the military, in the States, or just whatever they're doing. It's great to hear those stories, because I think statistically there are more people from Guam that live off island, right? So please send us your stories.
Please.
Oh, did you ever get any updates on she was competing for that cake boss?
Oh, so
Yeah, because the last I heard was that she was in the top 5, and she was doing really well.
Wow.
So now it's kind of narrowing down to, I think, the top 3. And so there's a couple more days to vote. And so she's been fluctuating between first place and third place.
Wow.
So if you haven't voted, go ahead to vote.
Vote period.
Do you have any favorite blocks from One Mic this year?
Oh yeah.
I think one of my favorite interview, Tanel was one of the best.
Oh, it was
Big surprise.
Well.
We did it now. We did. Go ahead, tell your story.
No, but for real, like, I think Tanel was one of those, because obviously she was, she's not from the region, right? But I included her because she was one of those who grew up in the States, but that found out her love for her culture of Samoa. And so her coming and visiting our islands here in Micronesia, she was in Palau a couple months before she came to Guam. So I talked to her about that and what her take was, what was the difference between Palau and Samoa? And she said it was all the same. And we just have different cultures, and that's what we need. And asked for the same advice like Joan asked Jay, and she said just be yourself and just always remember where you come from. So that was one of the coolest ones that I did this year. And then just recently on the first block of this month's One Mic, I had to talk with the Good Samaritan. He was one of the few that got the award, the AG's Good Samaritan Award. So it was nice to catch up with him. Super humble guy. He was like, man, I don't even know why I got the award, and I don't even know they put me on the billboard, in the first place. But I was like, man, I know, like it's his personality. It's like it's one of those where I just did it because somebody was needed of help, so I just jumped in and I helped out. So it was one of those like he helped, but figured out that he got an award later and on the billboard of every intersection in Guam.
Nice rap you just did for us there.
You talked so fast.
Yes, so
I was
much
like,
to say. But truly starstruck, right?
Oh, yes.
With Tanel.
I was
starstruck, yeah.
We're all
We got to
starstruck.
meet Tanel also.
She is beautiful.
Beautiful.
And she's so sweet.
I went to her press conference, and I swear, like, I was brought to tears when she was just speaking. Oh, sorry. I was just brought to tears when she was speaking because, like Vic said, she just emanates like such a beautiful, genuine spirit. And I feel like the universe or whatever you believe in they put people in your life to give you a message in that moment. And she was saying the same thing, like just stay true to who you are. People are always going to say something. People are going to disagree with you, agree with you. And I feel like I just needed to hear her like words that day. And then she followed it up with like a snippet of one of her songs. And I just started bawling. And I was like, oh my God, I got to get it together because I'm going to ask her a question in the next second. And I was starstruck.
Is
I
it
was
the
like, wow.
pray for the ones that we got and blessed by the ones that we lost? Dude, she was chanting that during her concert, and it was so good. I was like, she put me on.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, but truly, One Micronesia Show continues to be that conduit, that source for people from the islands to really go out and break barriers. Because, you know, people from Micronesia, they're pretty humble. They like to stick to their own. You know, if no one else is talking about it, I don't want to talk about it. Out of sight, out of mind. It's okay. Let's be respectful type of mentality. But you're breaking that stigma. You're showing that no, you are people with a voice who can stand up for yourselves and speak up for what's right for you. And so, good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well done, Vic.
And I like that you brought up the Good Samaritan because that reminded me of when I interviewed Patrick Nkenko. The same night that he body slammed that suspect in that chase, in that gang-related activity in Dededo, immediately, because I actually know Pat, just he's one of my good friends, and so when I saw that it was him in the video, I immediately called him first to check on him, of course, and his family. His son, his other half was in the car, but right after that, I met them at dinner at Crust just to get that interview. So it's kind of like what we signed up for, right? We go out there.
I signed up for this cookie. Sorry.
Okay, get to
Funny
it.
thing though about that interview, my friend was actually working at Crust, and she saw you doing the interview, and she was telling me about it, and I was like, whoa, I'm hearing like firsthand like what's happening behind the scenes, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good get. How's the cookies?
These are really, really good.
What was one of the toughest things that either of you had to do, whether out in the field or editing or?
I mean, honestly, every single day, just getting up there and standing in front of the camera. I mean, me and Des always say this, but like, we're such anxious girlies. Like, I kid you not, we have so much anxiety, but like, I give props to you and us, like everyone here, who just stand in front of the camera, and no matter like how nervous we are, we go up there and we do what we gotta do.
Public speaking.
Period.
Public speaking is so scary, honestly.
What would you say to the viewers to kind of help them through that? What do you do?
If they're afraid of public speaking, honestly, just practice. Like, the more you do it, the less fear you have of like being self-conscious about what people think, how you sound like, what you're talking about, and just believe it. I mean, you always say this, public speaking is really about the message that you're trying to convey, and not how you look like, what you sound like, stuff like that. I'm gonna need my
Would you
cookie
agree?
now.
Yeah, I definitely agree that actually Darby gave me some really good advice about
Ooh.
like if it's either like to the camera or to like a group of people.
Eat this.
She said, no, she said, talk to them as if they're your friends, or like with the way like on a certain subject, like talk to them as if you're gonna explain it to a friend, or like you're just conversing with someone that's close to you. And I was like, okay, let me try that. And so every time I look at the camera, I'm like, I know you. This is what it tastes like. But yeah, I think for me, public speaking was definitely like a thing that I had to get over, but I felt like I was able to dip my toes because when I was graduating college, I actually had to speak at commencement.
Whoa.
And that was like...
That's HBIC energy.
That was like probably one of the scariest things because there's like 4,000 people just watching me
my
speak.
lord.
And I think that's where I kind of got like a little bit of my confidence in like being in front of a lot of people and just learning how to be in front of a camera. It's just a camera. It's like, I think that has been a big lesson for me this year, is learning how to adapt to my environment and also learning from the people that I'm with.
Period. Speaking of public speaking, Fanati from Malawi, that was crazy. I was terrified.
So this is why I say, Suki and I share the same brain cell. I swear. Like
The one brain cell.
we are the same person. Like emotionally, we are anxious people. So like I could just turn to my side and just know that I am not alone. I'm not crazy. My work bestie knows what I'm going through. And like honestly, it's so important to have everybody in the workspace, but especially women, because we know exactly what each other's going through. You know, we face the same criticism, we face the same experiences, but like specifically Panotsi Famalawan, Suki and I had never like emceed before.
Never.
That was our first time doing something that big, and let alone an event like that. And we really leaned on one another. And we practiced, even for election, we practiced with our hairbrushes.
Yeah, we
in the
had these
studio.
that our intern gave to us, actually.
Shout out Katie, we love you.
Oh.
Oh yeah, interns this summer were so great.
Shauna, we love you, Shauna. Your Earl Grey cookies are amazing.
Ayla,
Jordan.
I just
Denise.
Denise. Yeah, she does karate. I just
Denise
heard.
does karate?
Yeah,
Yep.
actually, TMI, but I went on the fantasy flight last week, and then one of the pilots actually, he was her Denise is our intern, for those of you who don't know. Actually, Vic's niece.
Vic's nephew.
I almost said nephew. Your niece.
Vic's niece.
But anyways, one of the pilots was her teacher, her karate teacher. So I learned she does karate. She's almost a black belt. TMI. I miss you, Denise. And you're
She's a
black
black
belt.
belt.
Yeah, I was like, I never knew that.
I didn't know that. I was in the
Let's
audio
give
booth
her
there. I would have been more careful.
You go, Denise.
One wrong swing.
But no, when I first met Denise, she was very soft spoken. She was so introverted. She was like hesitant at first, but like she was quick to snap out of that in just the same day, if not the
She's
next.
good.
Yeah, and going out there and just asking the questions.
Yeah.
It's like once you give her direction, she executes, and that was what's so great about each of our interns that we had this summer. Can't wait for the next one or come back.
We were saying come back.
Because even like the interns on the reporter side with like Shauna and Katie, they like really stepped in this year, and
Yes.
like I remember just seeing like on the chat like IGTs for Shauna and Katie. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, they're already doing IGTs.
Yeah, they're writing their own
Yeah,
stories.
and they're
too.
writing their own stories.
Every
and
time they would go out in the field, we'd be like, "Do you need help? Do you need some guidance?" They're like, "We got it." I was like, "Period."
And honestly,
We're
that's
sure
what I've
done,
always
period.
felt as long as I've been at KUAM. And again, like I turned 50 this year and had my 25th anniversary at KUAM in the same week. So I've literally been doing this job half my life, which I think is an incredible
25
blessing.
years?
25 years.
Quarter of a century.
Yep.
Wow.
We don't need to belabor the number. I'm just saying. Would anybody like some snacks to put in their mouth?
Hey, at least I didn't mention the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Longer than you, right?
You've been at
22.
KUAM
Oh my God.
longer than Kobe's been alive.
And Nevaeh.
And Nevaeh.
Okay.
yeah, I'm.
So my point was,
Anyways,
but so I've worked with a lot of really good people. I love being part of this team. You guys are incredibly talented. And the one thing that I think is interesting, and it might surprise our viewers, is very few people that have ever worked in news actually have like formal journalism backgrounds, right? Nick has a journalism degree, and he's the only one
I
here.
didn't get it till 5 years in.
Yeah, Jones studied communications at UOG. Darby and I both studied marketing. Vic was studying computer science, but the thing that I think is interesting is
Wow,
Kobe and Suki both have English degrees, and
Nevaeh.
Nevaeh, yeah.
Literature degree.
So literature. So what do you think you bring to the table with that background and being able to tell stories?
Yeah, girl.
It's lit.
I majored in comparative literature, and really the core of the major is to dig deeper into the stories, and it's about digging deeper into the stories and asking harder questions of like, why did these traditions start, or why did these things happen, or like yeah, getting more into the humanities side of exploring cultures and diversifying your experience with interacting with different cultures. So
Yeah.
I think that's
great.
That lines up
helps
perfectly.
me in my job
And your
now.
creativity.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Amen, sister.
That's gonna make.
She also has really good taste in movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
She asks me every day if
Shout
I
out
watch
to my
something,
mom.
and I'm like, "Oh, I never heard of this before. I need to catch up.
Okay, Nevaeh, your top 3 movies of the year.
Of the year, can I do all time?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. So
You're gonna say Wicked, we all know, right?
I'll say like Labyrinth, that David Bowie movie.
Yeah.
That's good.
And
That's a
then
good one.
I'll say Goodfellas.
Good one.
That's like my airplane movie. That's not of all time though. And then like Hercules.
Oh, I love Hercules.
Because of also the
cartoon?
music in that movie is incredible.
From zero to hero.
Just like that.
Yes.
How about you,
Hercules is a really
Jason?
good
Top 3 movies of the year.
Okay, back in the 1920s, you know. Top 3 movies for me, Dead Poet Society, which you English majors I hope would know.
That is.
That one's really good. That one's really good.
I used to watch a lot of high school.
Let's go. Okay, thank
Are
you.
you okay?
Okay,
I'm so sad.
and because I'm a sports guy, okay, and you guys are gonna crack up at this one. The movie that always makes me cry, right? It always breaks me every single time. Cool Runnings, the Disney movie about the Jamaican bobsled team.
Yeah.
And everybody laughs, but because at the end of the movie, you know, there's this little tiny island, and they're on a world stage, and everybody's looking at them, and they spill out on their final race in the bobsled competition, and then they get up and they're like, "Hey man, are you okay?" And it's like, "Yeah, but I gotta finish the race." And coming from where we come from, I know what that's like to basically say, "Okay, we're not the biggest community on planet Earth and everything like that, but we're proud of who we are, and this is who we are, and this is what we're gonna do." So there's that, and then I know Joan's gonna disagree with it. One of cinema's greatest triumphs ever, from Justin to Kelly.
She's like,
Actually,
I'm kidding about that.
since we're in
Okay.
the topic of
Yeah, Grease 2. Grease 2 is way better than Grease 1, and Jen, our director, is back there. She loves Grease 2 also.
since we're in the topic of movies, this has been an office debate since the holiday season started, and I know Joni already knows what I'm gonna bring up. So we're gonna open it to the table. Do you guys think Die Hard is a Christmas movie?
Hell yes.
Oh my God, guys! I haven't watched any of the movies.
I think it's based on like the setting of the movie, right? And so
It's during Christmas.
It takes place during that, like Gremlins.
I've never watched
Gremlins
Die
2. It happens
Yes.
during Christmas.
Now, all logical
So it's
people
a
would say it is a
movie.
Christmas movie. Now we have to hear from the hater.
I'm just saying,
Let's hear it. The haters.
my thoughts
Just
on
for
why it's
everyone
not
out there
a Christmas
watching,
movie.
this is the dynamic every single day. It's not like he's picking on her or.
Well, you know, I'll definitely get him back. But I don't think it's a holiday movie. Only because I think, like, okay, if you look at Home Alone and you think of the other Christmas movies, it's based around the holiday itself. So, you know, like whether it be something happening on Christmas or whatever, it just happened that this in Die Hard, the whole taking over, they happened on Christmas, but it's not like the whole point of it was a bunch of killing.
It happens at a Christmas party.
I also think like the movie Halloween. It's called Halloween, but it doesn't happen like you don't see it on a lot of the remakes. It's like we're not focused on celebrating holiday or getting candy. Not in all of them, right? It's yeah.
Halloween Town.
How about like Nightmare Before Christmas? Is that a Halloween
That's
movie or
a-
Halloween Town?
I've never watched it.
What about Terrifier 3?
Oh my gosh.
Harry Potter.
Oh, yes. That's a holiday movie.
That's it.
That
And
is
we're
a
like,
holiday
we
movie.
don't know any of these movies you guys are talking about. We're so sorry.
Wicked.
Wicked. Movie of the year, Wicked. Literally. Oh my God.
Speaking of Wicked, so Suki and I went to watch the premiere, and we were getting in makeup and costume.
Oh my
Green
God.
face,
Yeah.
remember that
Well,
day?
what happened before that? Because I was at the mall.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What was that like for you? Tell the viewers the behind the scenes. What happened?
Well, first of all, as we're getting ready for LFG, like filming like behind the scenes of our makeup look, and then we realized, oh, it wasn't in focus. The whole like 40 minutes of us putting on our makeup, so it was blurry the whole time. But before that, there was a bomb threat at the mall,
And
as we
that's
all
where you
know.
guys were going for the premiere.
Yeah.
I felt like one of those TikTok videos where you're like getting ready and like full get up, and then someo's knocking on the door. Like
Yeah.
you're like,
Green.
Yeah, he was.
Because I was like, okay, I can't respond right now. Or I
Imagine
could.
having to do a
Imagine
drinking with
Alpha
the
at
green
the
on.
mall. Heard the bomb threat. Oh my gosh.
It's me.
Who's the
Alphabet for
culprit?
KUAM.
Sorry.
See, I haven't
Too
watched
soon.
Wicked yet, but my
It's so
classmate
good.
keeps singing what is it? In the Emerald City, was it?
Oh, One
Short Day.
One short day. I was like, I've never even watched the movie, but it's
Period. She said perfect.
Well, I mean, Darby, now that you graduated, you got a lot of time to go to the movies.
seriously. I have no
Wicked. It's awesome.
Wicked.
Oh, you watched it.
Okay.
I did.
How many?
I still
Okay,
can't-
raise your hands. How many of you guys have seen Wicked more than twice?
Unfortunately,
I've seen it twice.
Okay, if
I thought you've seen it
Glinda-
more than twice.
Just twice.
If Glinda and Alphaba were tomorrow, what would their names be?
Glinda.
Glinda with the glota?
I was gonna say
But
auntie.
no.
Aunties.
Alphabet. I felt like Alphabet could be a Shimori.
Right.
That sounds very Shimori.
Okay, so if
It would
Glinda
be
and Alphaba were
Elphaba.
tomorrow,
Alphaba.
what last name would they carry?
Alphabet.
Cruz?
Titano.
Oh, Alphaba's a Titano. Okay. How about Glinda?
Glinda.
Glinda, Glinda, down, down. Okay, I think we're getting a little off topic. Let's go back to
Oh, yeah,
to
let's
our
go back
to what our year
Back
was
to the
like.
news. To our real job.
So this year I got to go to Paris.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oui.
Oui.
How's the?
Even
There was
though
a
it's
muffin.
hot.
There was a
yours.
heat wave.
But you were there for a while.
2.5
Yeah.
weeks to cover the Team Guam athletes, and
Go
man,
Regine.
just
Nice.
to be very honest with you guys, ever since as long as I've been in news, to this day, covering sports makes me anxious.
Oh.
But it's like I have to go and tackle it like any other story, right?
Right.
Tackle it. But
Why does it make you anxious?
Dropping puns.
because I feel like I don't understand a lot of how the games are played. Like I get it if it's a touchdown, it's football, it's a slam dunk, it's basketball. I know how many players are in basketball and how many are in baseball. Like I know some of the basics, but when you're talking about calls, when you're talking about statistics, stats, when you're talking about the players on the field and their history, flies over my head. And so I had to learn really quick. And thanks to you, and thanks to the games for putting like some of the background on the athletes, that helped me execute it so much easier.
And you
so much
interviewed
easier.
the GOAT.
Oh right.
Yep.
I can't believe it.
Simone,
Simone
oh my
Biles.
gosh, how was that interview?
So what happened was I had some downtime between covering our local athletes, and so I was like, I have to go see artistic gymnastics. I didn't know I was into it until I went there, and watching live sports is always great. So afterwards, I was like, how can I get an interview? I follow all the reporters outside, and they're all just kind of waiting as all the athletes from the different countries are coming by, and they're like, Team USA isn't coming this way. And then I go to another area where media is lined up, and I was there covering like as a print and digital journalist, so I wasn't allowed the same access as broadcasters. And they're like, you can't be over here, you can't be over here. But I just was kind of like mulling around, like I was like, okay, I just want to see them, like I don't want to say hi or like do a selfie, but they're really strict.
Yeah.
So eventually, they said, all right, we're gonna do a press conference in this room. I wasn't sure if it was for Team USA,
Yeah.
but I just snuck in there and I went straight to the front, and it was them.
That's
And
wild.
so of course I'm going to the front row. I'm in the front row, and the whole time the lady's taking questions, I just keep going,
The stars surely
pick
aligned.
me, I'm not a pick me guy, but pick me today. And
Choose me.
and when they did, like I was breaking all the rules too, guys. I wasn't supposed to film video. I was in there like filming like this. You're supposed to it's very strict on the rules of coverage, but you learn, right, by breaking them.
Rules are meant to be broken.
Yeah, and so I had no idea. Darby, this is one of those moments where I was like, what am I gonna ask? What am I gonna ask? Because I'm still just as anxious. Like I don't know what she just did on that beam, but it was
Right.
cool. She didn't fall. And so what do you do? What do you ask a gold medalist, right?
What did you ask?
I said, so how are you going to celebrate your win tonight?
What did she
And I mean, I think it was pretty canned answer, a response saying that they're gonna go celebrate with their families and eat, right? But yeah,
So cool.
Cool
I
moments.
still can't believe you.
cool bucket list moment that I never had on my bucket list before.
All right, what's the coolest thing you guys have experienced this year? I mean, for you, it sounds like Paris.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What about you?
I gotta think about that one.
Is this personal or professional?
both.
Both?
Either.
Could be both.
What did you do?
I have to
What
say,
did you do?
it was, of course, I got married.
Yep.
And I got engaged and married in the same year. But we had a destination wedding and it was just my family. So it was the first time, oh my God, I told you guys I'm an emotional person.
It's okay.
Tell us.
Anyways, I'll keep my wedding private or personal, but I remember this is my first ever trip with my grandparents. Like we never went anywhere together. This is our first time together. Oh, sorry.
No,
Oh my God, thank
It's your
you.
story.
But I remember when we were younger, my first cousin, and my sister and my grandma, we used to watch the Disney Channel together all the time, and there were always commercials of Disneyland. And my grandma always said, I'm gonna take you there one day. I'm gonna take you guys there. And I don't know why, I always thought, as we get older, I'm like, man, the clock is ticking. God forbid, things happen. My grandparents have gone through their fair share of health struggles this year. So I was like, man, I hope that we get to go and finally do this together. So I just remember clinging on to that experience when we walked into, granted we went to Disney Sea, but when we walked into Disney Sea, my grandparents were in their little Mickey ears, holding hands, and I just remember locking eyes with my grandma, and I was like, oh my God, this is the first time in my lifetime that a dream, and it's such a simple dream, but a simple dream came true for me. And out of everything, I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to marry my best friend. But that's a moment I'm so grateful for, and I will cherish for my lifetime. Sorry.
How old were you when your grandma?
We were
mentioned
maybe
that?
4th, 5th grade, and she would say it every single time that commercial would run. She's like, one day I'm gonna take you guys to Disneyland. And now it's the reverse, when your grandparents get older, you start to become the caretaker for them.
And you made it happen for them.
Oh my God, it was such a family effort, honestly. God, family is so genuinely so important to me. Sorry, I'm just yapping.
You're doing good.
But I have to say, even with I feel like I'm just coming to a realization this year, but family is so important to me because I never had to earn their love. They have loved me since I was I don't know, just an irritating little girl. They're like, oh, I still love her, even though she's annoying. But you can walk in this world with so much reassurance knowing that you can do anything essentially, and there's a group of people who love you for who you are, and I don't know, that just instills so much confidence in me. If anything, I know I'm loved,
And that's what you can now give to your future family,
Yes.
right? So congratulations,
Thank you.
Miss Destiny Cruz Langus. I'm still getting used to
Me
it.
too.
For both of us, we're just
I know.
half day, good evening.
I know, there's always a pause.
One extra word.
I'm like I said that, I'm
Okay, has that been easy for you? Because when various people that I've anchored with, women that have gotten married over the years at KUM, when they change their name, I swear, for me, it always takes a month or two until I can really get it, because I'm just, it's
That makes sense. Thank you. Now I don't feel so alone.
no, it's always somebody gets married and their husband will come running in and say, hey, you got married, damn it! So it always takes a while for me. So if you guys can get faster, you guys are way better than I am.
I think we're still getting used to it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I love that story, and it reminds me of what I was just as emotional back in May when my oldest Kev, he graduated from high school. Oh, to think I already have a high school graduate, an 18-year-old.
That's wild.
But being there and seeing him in his graduation gown and running down to the field after a 3-hour ceremony outside in Colorado air where I can barely breathe.
High altitude.
Yeah. it really brought me to tears as well, just to be there, and I miss them so much. I can't wait to see them again.
Yay! Well, congratulations to you. That's a huge, honestly, huge.
How many
huge
times were you in
milestone.
Japan this year?
I think 4. I love Japan. Shout out Japan.
Well, once for
Woo!
work.
Yes, once for work.
And then
Shout out
Suki went to Japan too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
Please
was.
tell us about
I
your
feel like
experience.
That was
Japan was the
interesting.
destination of the year for all
It
of us.
truly
It was.
Okay, well raise your hands if you went to Japan this year. You
I
went?
went.
It was
Okay.
actually my
3
first
penguins.
time going
Three
there
penguins.
as an adult, so that was really interesting. I haven't been there since I was probably like a baby. They were like, "Welcome back," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know I was," because I was born in South Korea, so I didn't even know I've been to Japan as a baby. But they were like, "Welcome back" when they saw my passport. So yeah, it was interesting.
That is
it was
so
fun.
sweet. Welcome
Yeah.
back. That is so sweet.
Yeah.
For me, like this Japan trip was really like it was my first time like as an adult there, and it kind of just dawned on me that like we're bringing my nephews who are like between the ages of 7 to like 1, and so it's like it's sorry it was just like it dawned on me that like wow, I had pictures of when I was a baby at Disneyland, and now
Yeah.
like I'm here with my nephews making those memories with them, and it was just like wow, that's like really
That's
sweet.
so
And like
sweet.
I was able to go with my whole family except for Grandma Trini. She stayed home. She wanted to stay home. But yeah, it was our first family trip in like such a long time. And yeah, I really savored that moment because it was like making memories for not just myself, but like also for my nephews. Yeah. A lot of fun.
That's sweet.
I want to go again.
Serious. I love
Well, good
Japan.
thing it's just a one flight, right?
Yeah.
Wait, Darby, did you go to New York this year or was that last year?
That was last year.
That was last
And you
year.
went
Okay.
to Jimmy Fallon, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was 2023.
That's it's okay. It's
Well, surprisingly, our time has run out for the relaunch of the
wow.
podcast network.
Wow,
So real
so
quick,
fast.
I just want to go down the line and thank each of you for an incredible year and for the hard work that all of you have done. And I look forward to what's to come in 2025.
Viva!
Viva. Thank you guys. Like I said, couldn't have done it without you guys in Team Digital, Team News. I think everybody at KUAM, we do it as a team together. Like if one falls, we all fall, right? So
Yeah.
we all gotta just be there for each other. So thank you guys so much.
What I know what you say, what I'm gonna
You should be a rapper.
I just want to thank all of you for welcoming me into this team. I've hit a year now,
Yay!
and I am super grateful for everyone's support and yeah, for being like my friends.
Aww.
Yeah, you guys are like my work friends now.
Only now.
Only now.
She's gonna put you in the lake.
I'm definitely looking forward to 2025 and what it has in store for Team KUAM. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of exciting things that we're going to get to cover and be a part of and work as a team together. But I know that I wouldn't have made it through this year without the conversations and the hugs and everything, from the humor, most especially from everyone here at the team. So I appreciate you all.
We appreciate you.
Okay, I just want to thank each and every one of you guys, because if I've worked with you guys for a whole bunch of years or just recently and everything like that, I have learned something from each and every one of the people in this room, including everybody behind the camera in various capacities, whether you were sharing things or just you being you. And we have a very, very talented group in this. So, thank you guys for inspiring me and for just letting me to continue to enjoy what I do.
Rock on, Jay.
Rock on.
Yay, Jason.
Team old guys.
Speaking of old, I mean,
I know you're not.
I was trying to find a segue, but
We're both 27.
I'm turning 27 next year. I'm closer to 30 than I am 20. But anyways, I've been
27.
Honestly, sorry. Life gets better
26
at
too?
30 for some
I can't
reason.
wait
It
to be
feels
30. I
and
always
even better
say
at
this.
40.
We can't wait to be
and better
here.
as you go.
Manamku. Get that? Manamku. Benefit. Anyways.
Ross.
I've been here a little over 2 years
Yeah.
now. 2 years, few months. honestly, it feels like I've been here much longer. I feel like I've been here for like 10 years, which is crazy. It's just like the amount of things we see, the amount of people we see every single day and throughout these months. And I just want to say I'm super, super duper grateful for each and every one of you. And I look forward to the next year.
Aw. Oh yeah, so like just bouncing off of everyone too, like I feel like our team's dynamic is really I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I felt like my feelings were invalidated. If I was nervous, if I didn't think I could do something, and if there is like if I ever have doubts, there's always like someone like reassuring like each one of us, like, you know, you got that right, like you're just tripping, like and honestly we really like
Who told you that?
You're just tripping.
you tripping. Like I love that. It doesn't matter what day we're having, we always have that like words of encouragement, words of affirmation, whether it's at 2 p.m. and we go visit Betty's office and grab a chocolate, or it's crunch time and Joni's walking around with a bag full of snacks. Like it's those little things that really make it worth it. Like the work
Yes, snacks.
is very, like the work can be stressful. It is a lot. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of it's a lot. But I feel like the best part about it is the people that you get to share those lots with. So yeah, so thank you guys.
Beep. I got
Oh
one.
yeah.
I know I only just started, but like in the past 4 weeks, I've learned a lot, and I'm really grateful for all the guidance and support from the entire team at KUAM, whether they're on the camera or they're on the other side. I think it was a pretty big year for me. After graduating, I was feeling kind of unsure about where I was going to land, and I think I've arrived at a good place with all of you, and I can't wait to work more with you guys.
Welcome to your
Very
destination.
We are very
KUAM.
excited.
Well, we love to
Happy
eat if you
have
haven't figured out.
I know.
We all love to eat.
Snacks just appear on my desk.
It might disappear too.
I never have to bring lunch.
Oh yeah, Suki, you're right. It might disappear.
It might disappear too.
His name is Uncle Pete.
Oh,
Your uncle,
it's
actually.
okay. It's your uncle.
Our little
We love you, Uncle Peter. No shade. Love you. It seems super simple, but like Darb said, it's such a hectic day every single day, and it's a lot. So I really truly value laughing. So I am easily humored. So each and everybody in this room has made me like belly laugh. So thank you for that. Like thank you for bringing pockets of joy into stressful days, and thank you for always uplifting my soul. And I look forward to more belly laughs moving forward. I want to laugh harder and harder as each year goes by.
I want to cackle.
Me too.
Like,
Let's cackle.
Really cackle.
Like a real
I see it in our
Like
picture.
Chocoba?
like alphabet. Gumatato.
And thank you for also helping me decompress after a long, busy, hectic news day. Once we
Yeah.
get on the desk, that's the one time
Yeah.
where I'm kind of like packing my patience the most. But truly, like, I really appreciate everyone from production to master control to news to digital to sales to everyone else in the office for helping just bring what we do together for our viewers. And we also want to thank Leo Palace Resort for making this all possible. That's where we are in the presidential suite because
It's so nice.
why not? And
Thank you,
so
guys.
to close off the launch of our KUAM podcast network, and with a new brand name, Off the Record, Jason and Joan, take it away.
All right, everybody. So that is going to be off the record from all of us at the KUAM casting crew. Everybody behind the scenes, everybody who cares as much, if not more, than everybody you just saw. For everybody here, thank you so much for watching and listening.
And we'll see you next year.
Bye.
What do you need?
Yes.
Holy!